The NBA season started just under a week ago, and a few different things have happened around the league. You know, we've seen some teams start off red hot. We've seen some teams start off a little bit cold. One of those teams that started off very cold is the Memphis Grizzlies, who, as we're recording this, are currently 0-3. But help is on the way. Because a friend of the show, good friend of the show, Mr. Bismack Biyombo, has just signed in Memphis. Steven Adams obviously out for the season, and Brandon Clark with his Achilles injury, still no timetable for his return. BJ, talk us through this. You know, it seems like an obvious decision of why they signed him, but just break it down for any of our newer fans.
Well, it came about very quickly, and Zach Kleiman and the staff down there, as Scott can share with you, when you have injuries and you have a season-ending injury like to Steven Adams, things happen and progress very quickly. So they identified Bismack Biyombo as a player, a center who could address their need to give them a level of physicality that they want to play with. And, you know, Coach Jenkins and their whole staff they were very aggressive and trying to get Bismack to get down there, and it worked out for everyone involved. And I know he's really excited, you know, with your guy, Marcus Smart, so we can add another defensive-minded player to the mix and really give them a player who could fill in and do and provide what Steven Adams did so well for them, right? A level of physicality, especially on the defensive end, some rim protection, and set some screens for their guards, especially when
Ja Morant gets back.
When Ja Morant gets back. So I think that's gonna work for them. So it seems like a good fit.
That's how long we've been doing the podcast. Me and BJ can finish each other's sentences now. That's crazy, right? So, you know, Scott, you came on the show last week. Everyone's loving the insight you give from your front office perspective, obviously most recently with the Knicks. But I wanted to get your take on this and just share some insight from that GM level of when you have players with season-ending injuries, right? Do you already have like a list of free agents prepared for each position in case this situation would occur? Or do you kind of react to the situation there and then and see who you can go out and get?
Absolutely. You have to have a list of players ready to go, if you will, when you get an unfortunate injury that costs one of your players an entire season or an extended period of time. That is part of our job.
And how long is that list? 3 names, 5 names? How far deep does it go?
It's probably longer than that. But in terms of the candidates that you really would seriously consider bringing in, who are NBA caliber players at this stage of the game, it all depends on the positions. Maybe 2, 3 per position that you're going to really vet, even further talk about, and decide who you want to bring in to your building. You know, one thing I'd add to what BJ has talked about with Bismack was I worked with Bismack. We signed him in Orlando some years ago. And, you know, one of the things, and I'm sure that's probably factored into Memphis's thinking, is the character of the man. And, you know, Memphis is a team that's, you know, expected to win and do well this year, even though, you know, Ja is going to be out for the first 25 games. Their expectation is to win and advance and make a deep playoff run. So you bring someone in like Bismack, who's high character, who's all about winning. You know, he's not going there worrying about any rebound numbers, any block numbers, any steal numbers. He's worried about the most important thing for him and that organization, and that's winning basketball games. So he's going to do, you know, whether he's asked to play 20, 30 minutes or he doesn't play but 5 minutes, whatever it is, he's going to give it his all. And that factors in, again, when you're talking about trying to win, getting players who have those kind of intangibles. You know, to me, it's not as much about necessarily what his points per game average is or whatever the case may be. How's he going to fit into the existing team and to the existing personalities that we have on that basketball team? So I think he's going to be a good fit, and I'm pulling for him because he's one of the classiest individuals that I've worked with during my 23 years in the league.